now South Africa is being lectured by the English on racism.
So please excuse me if I don't just go on the word of one English rugby player.
Understand that people don't know anything outside of America. Americans were asking me, why do we look like them? Oh, you're from Africa. Why do you look like us? Oh, you're from Africa? You speak English? That same people were telling me to go downtown New York to go and you must eat the chicken. Hound. You must eat the chicken. Hound.
So as an American Black person, do you respect, their culture? And
Hey guys, please note that this video was made with an American audience in mind. However, moving forward, we are no longer going to be using the Union Jack. We are going to be using the flag of England out of respect for places like Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, who do not have anything to do with this, even though they're part of the UK. This is an issue, not with all Englishmen, but just with the English rugby team and their press and some of their fans. Thank you so much.
As South Africa prepares for its Rugby World Cup final against arch-rivals New Zealand on Saturday, the Springboks face a significant distraction. Hooker Bongi Mbonambi is facing a World Rugby investigation into allegations that he directed a racial slur against England flank Tom Curry during their tight semi-finals game.
And she identified herself as colored, and Americans went crazy, particularly African Americans, who went on to say that colored is a racial slur. How could she identify as colored? Yada 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 yada, and the debate has been going on since then.
And there it is. There it is. South African hands aloft. They have come from behind and they will defend their Rugby World Cup title.
But South Africa, I will never in my fucking life, beef with them. Do y'all see how they so band together?
If the last 2 weeks have taught us nothing, it should be to leave South Africans alone. Leave them alone. Unless they say something about you first, there's nothing to say. Don't say nothing.
Mbonambi stands accused of using a racial slur against a white English player last night. Tom Curry, England player, went up to the ref in the 28th minute and said, Sir, if their hooker calls me a... what do I do? And now South Africa is being lectured by the English on racism. And now South Africa is being lectured by the English, the English, the English, the English, the English, the English. And now South Africa is being lectured by the English on racism. So now a lot of people have assumed that Mbonambi is guilty without weighing the likelihood of it being true, like at all. Now the way that rational, logical, intelligent human beings work is before we leap to an assumption, we weigh up likelihood. Racial slurs are unacceptable and he should be punished if he did it, but Bongi Mbonambi has never been accused of racism. This would certainly be an extraordinary moment to suddenly become racist considering all the white players he's played against and with for years. And there is a much more likely explanation. If the English media had done even a shred of thinking about this before writing this article, they would have included the fact that South Africa for decades has communicated in Afrikaans when playing against other teams because they don't want to be easily understood. And the Afrikaans word kant, K-A-N-T, means side. So maybe he said wit kant, which means the white side. It means their team, it means the opposition. They play in white. Or maybe he said wyd kant, which means wide side, as in maybe they're going to attack or defend on the open side of the pitch. So maybe he did use a racial slur, but there's no evidence of that yet. The England team hasn't even laid a formal complaint. And then, as a decent journalist, which England is in short supply of, you use all the relevant facts to establish a picture.
Our black vice captain, Bongi Mbonambi, was accused of being a racist by this guy, Tom Curry. And the whole world just discovered Afrikaans that week. Because he thought he was being called a wit, see you next Tuesday. Right? But we say, groen kant, wit kant. Or white kant.
Wait, as someone's t-shirt has said that, wit kant.
Talk to me about how much Afrikaans the Springbok team talks on the field.
That has been their language for years, Sally.
So please excuse me if I don't just go on the word of one English rugby player that heard something that in Afrikaans could easily sound like wit kant. Wit kant, white side. You know, die bal is in die wit kant. What did you call me? Yeah, no, it's Afrikaans. And we've heard Bongi speak Afrikaans on the field.
So let's explain for people who don't speak Afrikaans that the Afrikaans word for side, as in that team, that side, is K-A-N-T.
Yes.
Die kant.
Yeah.
Ander kant, die kant, this side, that side.
Just the wit kant.
Yeah.
Which is the white side.
Yes.
Side.
So let's...
Hierdie kant is jou linkerhand. Dit is links. Wys gou jou linkerhandjie vir my. Daar sy. Dit is links. Hierdie kant is jou regterkant. Wys gou vir my jou regterhand. Baie mooi. Dit is reg. Vierkant. Reghoek.
Hier het ons 'n vierkant. Hoekom is dit 'n vierkant? Want ons vorm het 4 hoeke en 4 kante en die kante is almal ewe lank. So ons het 'n vierkant, maar ons vierkant is ook sommer 'n baksteenmuur. Hierdie huisie het 1, 2 vensters. En watter vorm het ons gebruik vir hierdie vensters? Weer vierkante. En as jy mooi kyk, binne in die vierkante is daar 'n paar reghoeke ook.
If that hooker calls me a white cunt, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Alright then, chaps, what you gotta do is, you gotta go to Google Translate, which is on Google as the name suggests, yeah? Then what you gotta do is go to this drop-down menu, called a drop-down menu because it drops down. Right, and then you got to look at all these languages. Fortunately, Afrikaans happens to be on the top, yeah? So what you do is, you go there to the Afrikaans because it starts with A. A is the first letter, right? And you type in what these South Africans are claiming, yeah? Fantastic. Let's have a look then.
Right kant.
Aha.
Wide side.
Perfect. How about the other claim? They say it's that, yeah?
Wit kant.
Fantastic. Sounds rather rude, but how about this one, just to be sure? Oh, let's hear that one then.
Engelandse kant.
Perfect. Now we've got it. Thank you so much, love. That wraps up the story then. Toodaloo, cheerio then.
And England had 48 hours in order to lodge a complaint. That expired this morning. So it's fallen off.
So they didn't lodge a complaint?
They didn't lodge a complaint. World Rugby, on the other hand, as soon as word got out, now they've gone on their own and launched an investigation into this. So it's not England that have done so, it is World Rugby now that have launched their own investigation.
So they have not lodged a formal complaint with the rugby.
Grave disappointment at World Rugby's decision.
England has not launched a formal complaint.
What it is, that disappointment is shared by Tom, his teammates, the management team, everybody associated with this team shares that bitter disappointment at World Rugby's decision. Then
Today's date is the 25th of October. England has not lodged a formal complaint with Rugby World Cup. Today's
Tom is the innocent party in this respect. He's as Steve said, he's done nothing wrong. He's the victim of the situation. So
Coming up in this series, did this incident inspire England's white cunt accusation?
What did you see him saying in the footage?
He said, "You fucking black cunt, you fucking knobhead."
An alleged racial slur prompted officials to suspend a soccer match at a major tournament.
The victim's voice, the victim's voice, the victim's voice.
The victim of the situation.
You talk a lot of nonsense with your mouth! With your mouth! It's going down, niggas down! We are down!
So they have not lodged a formal complaint with the Rugby World Cup. But already Mbonambi is being tried in the court of public opinion.
Kykie guys, did you guys see how the boere mannen, toppies, the boere 50, the timers 50 and up. Bro, dat mense, hulle gebruik hulle beste Afrikaans om vir die man te protect. And come on man, this man wasn't racist, he was mad. England is befok. They befok in the kop. How can they think this man called him witkant in a time when there was no reason to say it? But anyway, we must not gonna back our boy. He's not gonna get cancelled. Hy gaan in die final speel. Hy gaan die game wen vir ons. Kyk net nou. Hulle wil vir hom kwaad maak. Hy gaan die game wen vir ons. Come on Bongi Mbonambi.
Hi Stanley. Nee, ons kant is skoon. Ons as Suid-Afrikaners hou daarvan om ons kant skoon te hou. Ek weet nou nie of jou kant skoon is nie hoor, maar we still backing Bongi. Dankie, lekker aand.
You calling me a liar?
Well, if the boot fits.
Say that again.
If the boot fits.
Is groenkant vir ons, is net groenkant.
Philip Lowe is the chief editor of the Woordeboek vir die Afrikaanse taal. Bongi Mbonambi is the part owner. He's been sponsored the word cunt or side.
If you feel like you're stuck in the sand and you have nowhere to go, take someone else's hand. You weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel
Coming up in this series, did this incident inspire England's white cunt accusation?
What did you see him saying in the footage?
He said, "You fucking black cunt. You fucking knobhead."
An alleged racial slur prompted officials to suspend a soccer match at a major tournament.
And the claim by African Americans that South African artist Tyler has no right to their support and patronage. This is Nuance with Nikki, where we get into the nitty-gritty, even when it's shitty.
He's an English soccer player. He's upset because there's clearly something that he had heard.
The points that I'm seeing made a lot is that you cannot just call colored people black because it is dismissive of the culture, the heritage, the dialect that they have created for themselves, right? But when you really look at this point, it doesn't really stand because it implies that black people are a monolith, and that is totally false. Black people also come from a diverse set of cultures, languages, heritages. So the argument doesn't really make sense from that point of view.
So let the record state that it is you that claimed that we were suggesting that black people were a monolith. That is not something South Africans have ever said.
We call ourselves by different names, and none of those names say we are black. We call ourselves...
But in projecting that notion on us as South Africa, you have not only ignored the fact that multiple black people have come out in defense of colored culture. Maybe it's hard for you guys as Americans to conceive, but the black people in this country were free. They were free for the 300 years that the colored people and their ancestors were enslaved. The descendants of the enslaved in South Africa are the colored people.
Captured people from East Africa, Dutch Batavia or the East Indies, Mauritius, Mozambique and Madagascar, enslaved them, transported them to the Cape, and often sold them again.
Of children taken from Madagascar in 1868. The children were rescued when a British naval vessel intercepted the slave ship. The photos of children.
And this terrible long voyage, the traumatic 3-month journey across the dark seas, the Kalapani, traumatized the people, many of whom had never seen water before.
Mortality aboard.
Many years later, most of the descendants of slaves would be classified as colored by the apartheid government.